we used to love Lu in North India because Lu means summer vacation for sure, but then Lu also means good fruits, ripening of fruits. But the kind of heat wave now we are facing is not giving us very good yield. It is basically burning the systems on which we are dependent. Climate change, because of higher concentration of GHG in atmosphere, heat waves are happening. So heat, so summer encroached in the spring season this year, and it went very extreme, and higher consistent temperature for a few number of days actually qualifies to be called a heat wave.
Heat waves are responsible for a lot of deaths in this country. In fact, if you look at official data, so between 2000 and 2020, those 20 years, first 20 years of this century, almost 21,000 people died of heat stroke in India. So basically, if you're taking just the summer months, almost 6 people dying every day for those 20 years. So it's a big casualty when it comes to natural phenomena. Only natural phenomena which beats heat waves in death is actually lightning strikes, and even earthquakes, flooding, and cold waves are much lower number than the heat waves. The age group which is most severely affected by the heat waves is the male population from age of 30 to 60. Working age men are basically people working outdoors. So blue collar workers who have no option but to continue working outdoors to make our cities and villages run, and also to earn a living for themselves. So they are suffering the most because they have no means to shield themselves, and being like in a chronic poverty state, they also don't have the nutritional supplements coming to them which can help them beat the heat better. Since the lockdown has locked everybody down indoors and nobody was working outdoors, that has actually saved a lot of people from dying during that year. So it's very evident that working outdoors is a problem when the heat waves are happening. This year is unprecedented as these heat waves, which usually happen in May and June, started happening in March, which is a very early onset of the phenomena. And there are two reasons given by the meteorologists and the scientists as such. First is the global phenomena of La Nina happening, because of which a low depression zone developed over the northern India in early March, which usually develops during May. And that low depression zone drastically reduced the humidity level in the region, and also pushed all the western disturbances, which actually bring rain to the region, up in the mountains, the Himalayas. So the rains never came down to the plains.
With large section of people, vulnerable to climate change and also living in difficult conditions within cities, we need to be ready for that situation as well. I don't think developed countries will do their bit. We are forcing them. I'm born in climate talks, and I can see how developed countries are confusing all the negotiations so that they buy more time and they don't have to do anything. Government of India has certainly worked on several aspects. There are climate-induced, there are basically adaptation plans being put in place at the state level, which includes how to cater to the heat waves, how to save more and more people.
India as a country has not made a national policy on mitigating heat wave or adapting or developing resilience to heat waves. But few cities around India had developed a heat emergency action plan, which is basically when the heat wave season is on, what measures should the district or city administration should take place to make sure there are no deaths in the thing. But these are emergency measures. That means when the tragedy is happening, how to make sure that the tragedy doesn't become a disaster.
It's not that we are seeing this extreme heat conditions first time. Yes, maybe in India and Pakistan, but not in Middle East. And Middle East, the labor law says that you have to give break for 2-3 hours to laborers when the heat is at the highest. So these kind of labor laws we need to learn and adopt now when the heat is also becoming a new normal in India.